Right now, removing lead pipes. Why the move has created some controversy in one Evansville neighborhood. Plus, remembering the teenage girl killed on Madison's east side. The update from police as they search for the final shooting suspect. And recognizing the work done by local businesses. Our partners at Madison Magazine are looking for the best places to work in Madison. It's all ahead on News 3 Now at 10. An Evansville neighborhood is voicing concern with the city after receiving a letter that threatened to shut off their water. That's because it found galvanized steel and lead pipe laterals during road resurfacing. Our Ellie LaLiberte is back from a meeting between the city and residents tonight and breaks down what options residents have.
Residents in this community are calling for answers, and a meeting here in Evansville is hoping to address some of those concerns.
Well, this has been quite an adventure.
John Brandon has lived in Evansville for 4 years, but lately his neighborhood has looked a little different. The city discovering galvanized steel and lead pipe laterals on Almarin and Walker Street.
Lead is known to be a toxin in drinking water. Galvanized steel in and of itself is not awful, but galvanized piping often comes with lead fittings.
Back in April, residents got a letter from Town and County Engineering. That's the city's contracted engineering department, saying that they were, quote, encouraged to replace their lateral that led from the sidewalk to their home. But in September, they were told they had 90 days to replace it or the city could turn off their water.
Basically, the attitude of the city between the initial meetings and this letter in September changed from being it's an optional replacement to it's a mandatory.
The 90 days is a pretty typical requirement in Wisconsin. It's taken from stock language from the DNR guidance. The 90-day limit is in ordinance. However, given the timing of the year, the city doesn't shut people's water off, even if you're not paying your bill.
Residents also have to pay for it.
We were told that we're fully responsible for replacing the laterals. Some people have had quotes of as little as $3,500. Some people have quotes in excess of $5,000.
The city says that's because it's private pipes, but they're willing to come up with a financing plan.
The current rules in place do not allow Evansville to receive grant money because of the incomes of the entire community are just too high to qualify.
Residents like John are upset, but are just wanting the best for the community.
We're angry and we're upset about the way we've been treated, but the most important thing is to make sure that the community is safe and healthy.
Now, no changes can come out of tonight's meeting, but city engineering does tell me that they hope this keeps the conversation open. Reporting in Evansville, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
Well, a warm one tomorrow and then a change. Let's go to the patio. More details from meteorologist Jacob Madison. Jacob?
Yeah, we're going to see quite the roller coaster in temperatures the next couple of days. But first, let's take a look at what we're seeing right now and what we will see overnight. 52 degrees is the current temperature. Mostly clear skies, pretty calm in the wind department. Across Dane County, there are a few areas that have already dropped into the upper 40s. Also, a few locations still hanging on to those lower 60s. It is going to be a little bit of a milder night compared to the last couple nights and certainly compared to average. We'll have low temperatures right around 50 degrees for a good amount of the area, but other locations will drop into the upper 40s. Now, we are going to see clear skies, but we are going to see those clouds increase as we head into the day tomorrow. Now, despite that increase in cloud cover, we're going to see very warm temperatures. The average high this time of year, right around 61, 62 degrees, and tomorrow, we may be around 20 degrees above that. 81, 82 degrees is the forecasted high. Now, we're not going to see any rainfall, but it will certainly feel like kind of like late spring and summer. But then it's going to quickly feel like fall after that. Temperatures are going to plummet for the weekend and early next week. I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a little bit later.
Jacob, thank you. The man who pled guilty to a deadly shooting outside of Madison Bar will spend over a decade in prison. Caleb DiMaggio has been sentenced to 18 years in prison, along with 15 years extended supervision. The 23-year-old pled guilty to second-degree intentional homicide in the death of 44-year-old Jason Pritchard. The shooting happened last May outside the Badger Tavern on Seminole Highway. Witnesses say DiMaggio shot Pritchard after getting upset that Pritchard did not want to fight him. DiMaggio initially was supposed to stand trial after pleading not guilty, but he changed his plea to avoid avoid a possible mandatory life sentence. It's been a year since a shooting killed a 15-year-old girl on Madison's east side. Today, the community came together to remember Kaisha Miller. She was shot and killed outside the Harmony Apartments. Madison police arrested 4 of the 5 suspects connected to the shooting. Police Chief Sean Barnes says they're working hard to find the other person involved.
On some DNA analysis, we've gone through a bunch of digital evidence. We've talked to people who wanted to give information, and so we're just going through the investigative process. We think it's important that not only we're able to charge someone, that we can successfully prosecute them.
Chief Barnes believes the investigation has helped to increase trust between the police and the residents there at Harmony Apartments. 2 workers are rescued from a suspended scaffold outside the Milwaukee County Courthouse. The Milwaukee Fire Department says the incident happened a little after 2:45 this afternoon. Those workers were on a scaffold when it malfunctioned, causing one side to be tipped at a 45-degree angle, as you see there. First responders were at the scene within 1 minute of the call. The 2 workers moved to the top ledge of the courthouse and shimmied their way to another secure scaffold before being hoisted back up to the roof.
Got up top, we were able to lower one of our radios and actually just be in direct verbal communication with the individuals to find out exactly their state. Were they injured?
The fire chief there says they were ready to go over the edge and conduct a rope rescue. No injuries were reported. Ready-to-eat meat producer Bruce Pack is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry products. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says routine testing found Listeria bacteria in the food. The affected products were shipped to restaurants and institutions nationwide. They were produced from June 19th through October 8th, so they still could be in consumers' fridges or freezers. There have been no confirmed reports of any illness, but it can take up to 10 weeks for symptoms of Listeria to manifest. Shifting gears now to the November election, Democratic vice presidential nominee Governor Tim Walz will return to Wisconsin next week. Governor Walz expected to be in the state Monday, stopping in Eau Claire in the morning, Green Bay in the afternoon. This will be the Minnesota governor's 5th trip to Wisconsin since accepting his party's nomination. The stop comes on the heels of other Democrats, including his wife, Minnesota First Lady Gwen Walz, who visited Beloit and Madison yesterday. And U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders making a stop in Baraboo this weekend. Senator Sanders will be campaigning for the Harris-Walz ticket. Details about the time and place have not yet been released. Senator Sanders also expected to talk in Superior earlier in the day. On Monday, he'll also campaign in Milwaukee at the Power in the Polls headquarters. That'll take place at about 1 p.m. We are now 26 days from Election Day, and local election officials are working to make sure you're not giving your information to the wrong people. Madison election officials say third-party groups, different political action committees, and parties send a lot of mail to voters with a lot of information. It can be overwhelming, especially when they say to follow specific links to request an absentee ballot or tell you to check your voter registration.
Maybe people used to be registered, they've moved, but they're not quite sure if they still live at that address. And so we get a lot of people who are concerned that they've been given a registration form, but they're already registered, and they're concerned whether or not they're still registered. And 99% of the times they are still registered.
Well, Deputy Clerk Verbeek says his office will not send you a registration form unless specifically requested. Wednesday was the last day to register online to vote. You can still register in person at absentee voting locations when they open October 22nd or at the clerk's office. If you're unsure about the information you get in the mail, officials say it's always best to contact your municipal clerk's office or simply check myvote.wi.gov. Inflation continued to slow last month, reaching 3.5-year low. New data says it's similar to what was seen back in 2017 and 2018. The Consumer Price Index, which measures price changes across commonly purchased goods and services, was 2.4% for the 12 months ending in September, according to the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics report. That's less of a cool down that economists were expecting, but they say it's still headed in the right direction. Well, millions of retirees are getting a raise in the new year. The Social Security Administration announced a cost of living adjustment that'll bump up monthly checks starting in January. With an average of more than $50, 72.5 million Americans receive Social Security benefits, 2.5% increase for next year. That reflects the cooling inflation numbers.
The increase is based on the previous year. So if you look at a year where you get a big Social Security cost of living increase, it usually means that the previous year you didn't do so well.
Recipients got a big bump in 2023 to account for record inflation post-pandemic. There's still time to nominate your workplace for Madison Magazine's Best Places to Work 2025 competition. Nominations will be accepted until tomorrow, and this year will be a little different. Winners will be celebrated along with the Best of Madison Business Award winners at an annual luncheon. The top 10 businesses are separated into 3 different size categories: small, medium, and large. Being nominated gives an employer access to participate in an exclusive survey to measure the company's strengths and employee engagement.
We've done this for many years, and it's an annual survey that companies, if they choose to participate, it's completely free, and it kind of gives them a good benchmark of where they're at. It's an employee-based survey, so the employees take the survey, and then we work with a third party to decide who is our best places to work based on their metric system.
The 2025 winners will be included in the March issue of Madison Magazine. And still to come on News 3 Now at 10, Jacob will break down our fall-like temperatures coming this weekend, plus Hurricane Milton carves a path of destruction through Florida. The relief efforts now underway as the state tries to recover from 2 devastating hurricanes just 13 days apart.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the Exhibition Hall at the Allied Energy Center in Madison.
Joan Baldwin wants to ban abortion, even in cases of rape, incest, and when the mother's life is at risk.
And would jail doctors who perform them.
Baldwin voted to ban birth control, too, and to deny rape victims emergency contraception.
Banning all abortions and birth control? No one wants to tell you what to do with your body
more than Joan Baldwin.
But she can't tell you what to do with your vote.
They say post it or it didn't happen. But out here, in the places we were made for, you'll have to take our word for it. Find somewhere the internet's never been. With a family of Broncos designed to get you there.
Lease a Ford Bronco Sport for $349 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Billionaire banker Eric Hovde has a plan for Social Security.
Do you favor either raising the retirement age or cutting benefits?
I favor both.
Raising the retirement age?
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Hovde wants to raise the retirement age as high as 72. And Hovde just proposed cutting Social Security by 28%, costing the average beneficiary more than $6,000 a year. Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
To prove that you can get just as strong at Planet Fitness, we're seeing if people can tell the difference between our 75-pound dumbbell and a 75-pound dumbbell from an overpriced competitor gym. Okay, the old flick test, that never fails.
There's literally no difference.
Plus, you can save $28 or more when you join today. Wow.
Why would I pay more to lift the same weights?
It's the Planet Fitness Strong Choice Sale. Save $28 or more. Join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends October 10th. Planet Fitness. Light price, strong choice.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only in the Exhibition Hall at the Allied Energy Center in Madison.
The final sprint to Election Day is on, and News 3 Now this morning is focused on the races and the policies that matter to you, the voter.
We're taking a look at both sides of the issues and where the candidates stand so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
Milton made a deadly impact, slamming into Florida's west coast as a Category 3 hurricane. At least 14 deaths have now been reported due to the storm, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis warns the number of casualties is likely to rise. Lee Waldman is in Sarasota, where the recovery is just beginning.
Oh my God! There's water in our car!
Sheer terror can be heard in the voice of Angie Dooley while fleeing her home as water levels rose to dangerous levels by 4 a.m. Thursday in Daytona Beach.
I can tell you, we are in for a long recovery.
Hurricane Milton cut a path of destruction through Florida, carrying boats ashore, toppling 18-wheelers, and destroying homes. But the greatest tragedy seems to have taken place in St. Lucie County, about 150 miles from landfall, where multiple tornadoes ravaged the area.
Tornadoes on the ground ripping through our county in a northern direction, leaving hundreds of homes devastated, completely totaled. And it unfortunately struck a retirement community that was mainly modular homes, where we did have loss of life.
Volusia County extending a curfew overnight Thursday.
Please, this is not the time for our citizens and our visitors here to Volusia County to be out on the roads.
While many residents are eager to get back home, gas shortages are still an issue, with nearly 1 in 5 stations running dry during evacuations. Ships and tankers are working to refill those stations in the next 48 hours. Relief much needed, as Milton is the third hurricane to hit Florida this year.
The fact that these two storms have impacted the same area, our hearts go out to those people that are impacted. It's very difficult to go through something like this.
In Sarasota, Florida, I'm Lee Waldman.
With Hurricane Milton ripping through Florida, first responders and volunteers are working to keep people safe from danger. And some rescuers are saving pets as well as people from the dangers. This lucky dog was untied from a fence by Florida state troopers as Hurricane Milton approached. Animal shelters in northern states are also helping out by caring for cats and dogs who were in the path of hurricanes Helene or Milton.
This is why we do the work we do, is because we want to help. We want to help pets. We want to help people.
I think it's just, a testament to each animal's resiliency to be able to take in change and be able to just kind of like pivot like this.
Well, sometimes the assistance goes the other way as well. Trained dogs help with search and rescue after disasters, of course. And at the Emergency Operations Center in Tampa, the mayor says a dog there is helping boost morale. Wildlife numbers are falling fast, driving what the Worldwide Fund for Nature calls a catastrophic loss of species. New numbers show that animal populations have plunged 73% in the past half century. Experts studied population sizes of more than 5,000 species of vertebrates and found deeper declines in some regions with less reliable tracking data. The report reveals the world's Amazon pink river dolphins are disappearing especially fast. 65% of them wiped out by pollution, mining, and other human-driven dangers.
The combination of climate change, habitat loss and biodiversity loss are things that we need to get on top of because they're mixed up problems that need to be dealt with together. So in places like Latin America, we see declines of 95%, whereas in North America and Europe, we see less declines of 35 to 39%.
The report did capture hopeful signs of conservation success, with mountain gorilla numbers starting to recover in East Africa and a boost for the bison population across Central Europe. A new report finds that dams in Wisconsin are failing more frequently. According to the Wisconsin Policy Forum, from 2000 to 2023, the state recorded 34 dam failures. That's the second highest total for that period, behind only the state of South Carolina. More than 80% of those failures happened since the start of 2018. None of those failures have resulted in human deaths. Wisconsin is home to more than 4,000 dams. We'll experience summer-like temperatures for one more day before the cool down begins. Jacob breaks it down, our highs and lows for the weekend.
Yeah, they're going to be all over the place from tomorrow through early next week. And if we look at the 3 things you need to know, that is 2 of them. Summer like Friday, and then early next week, we're going to see some frost during those overnight hours, and daytime highs will certainly feel like fall. Between them, we are going to see a few showers on Sunday, also some breezy weather, but the rain does look to be pretty light. So here's a look at the forecast for tomorrow. Lower 80s for highs across much of the area. We will see a little bit more cloud cover, so it's not going to be quite as sunny compared to today or the last couple of days, but still it is going to be the warmest day of the week. But we are going to see that swing occur over the weekend. Now, as we look at the wind gust forecast, it's going to be a little bit breezy on Friday, but notice where these winds are coming from during the early portion of the day. They're coming from the south and southwest, which will allow that warm air to push into our area. Now, gusts will only be up to 20 miles per hour, so not too bad. But notice by the time we get to the overnight hours and as we get into Saturday as well, well. The winds will be coming out of the north, which brings in cool air into our area, and that's going to continue throughout the day on Saturday. Now, not going to be too windy on Saturday, as winds will mostly be out of the east. And then as we get to Sunday, we're going to see a second wind shift, this time coming out of the northwest, and really breezy weather is in the forecast for Sunday, as we're going to see wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. And because those winds are coming out of the northwest, it will really bring in that cool air into southern Wisconsin. So lower 80s for Friday, 60s Saturday, 50s for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Middle 50s for Monday and Tuesday is the forecasted high. Now, we will warm back up, but we may finally start to see a few days in a row with temperatures below average, and it will certainly be the coolest weather we've seen so far this season, with overnight lows possibly dropping below freezing. And with the breezy weather, we may even see wind chills in the 20s. So these mornings next week are going to be very chilly. Now, as far as rainfall goes, if it does rain, it will be pretty light, but we do have some slight chances of rainfall over the weekend. Sunday does look to be the best chance of rainfall. And the drought monitor was released today, and because we continue to be dry, the drought monitor continues to worsen. Moderate drought across much of southern Wisconsin, pretty much all of Wisconsin under abnormally dry conditions, and northern Wisconsin starting to see an expansion of that severe drought. So unfortunately, the dry weather is going to continue, so the drought monitor will likely get worse. And like I mentioned, if it does rain over the weekend, it will be pretty light. Now, temperatures will warm up into the lower 70s for next week. And by the end of the 10-day forecast, we actually may start to see some better chances of rainfall. Now, at this point in time, we're expecting another pretty big temperature drop for next weekend, with 70s into 50s, but a lot can change between now and then. The next couple of days is certainly going to be that big temperature swing, with kind of a summer-like day for Friday. It's going to definitely feel abnormally warm. And then our first real significant dose of fall is going to come early next week.
And coming up in sports, bottom of the Big Ten for the Badgers. Greg Gard's squad isn't worried. His message to the team about their projection. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent Fuel Saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Think Sloan's first.
You know, the big thing about Sloan's is the ease of doing business. They make everything simple. We choose Sloan's and John Deere because we have availability of equipment, quality service, quality parts, and they have the ability to keep us up and running.
Gear up for fall savings time is on now at Sloan Implement. Get your John Deere Z530M with 1.9% for 36 months. Includes your 54-inch mowing deck.
Power up with Sloan's. Think Sloan's first.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
You heard him.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
What would Eric Hovde do in the Senate? Mitch McConnell and extremists would gain a majority. The power to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape or incest. Criminal penalties for doctors. More extreme anti-abortion judges on the courts.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Eric Hovde, what's wrong with this guy?
This Friday through Monday only, everyone gets up to 50% off list, plus an extra 15% off already reduced prices. It's Slumberland's Customer Appreciation Sale. Get our best discounts of the whole year. October 11th through 14th, shop our wide range of furniture and mattresses, plus half off full service delivery and up to 50% off, plus an extra 15%. Friday through Monday, the Customer Appreciation Sale. Only at Slumberland Furniture. Our best discounts of the whole year.
My name is Bill. I am retired. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I live here in Wisconsin. I am not a political person, but Eric Hovde doesn't understand how important Social Security and Medicare are around here. I'm on Social Security, and Hovde said he absolutely supported cuts to Social Security and Medicare. Imagine working longer, paying into the system, and then poof, you're paying your bills with less. He knows it. Cutting Social Security and Medicare will cost us. He just doesn't care.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this message.
Earn a 25-cent Hy-Vee Fuel Saver for every $50 Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's a 25-cent Fuel Saver for every $50 you spend in-store and online. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Only at Hy-Vee.
It's like clockwork. Almost every year, Wisconsin men's basketball is picked to finish in the middle or the bottom of the Big Ten standings. And then the actual games are played, and the projection is wrong. This year, the Badgers are picked to finish 12th in the 18-team league, and Greg Gard had a message to his team about it. Championships aren't won in September.
We don't have no 5-stars or just super highly touted guys. We have guys that are going to work hard and underrated. So I'm ready to prove to people that rankings really don't matter. You don't win trophies in September, so yeah, or October now.
It'll only be more field of the fire for us. So I don't want to say I expected to be picked, that low, but I'm definitely not surprised considering we've been picked that low for what, a decade or something like that.
Well, Kelly Sheffield said earlier in the week that his team's sweep of Washington was the best they've played this season. Now the challenge for Wisconsin isn't just to do it again, but to do it even better. Their first opportunity to do so is Friday when they welcome Maryland to the Fieldhouse. And you could say the Badgers are dialed in on playing even better than their last time out.
That's what we were talking about. We were in the locker room and we were like, hey, just because we had one really good match doesn't mean we're at the top of the food chain, We still got to keep hunting, keep putting our head down, getting to work.
All of us just want to be the best that we can be, so whatever kind of that takes, and every game is, every point, every pass, every practice is going to be... every point, every practice, every pass is going to be like that because we just want to improve.
After the rejuvenation of Wisconsin men's hockey in year one of the Mike Hastings era, expectations are high for the Badgers this season, and they've already gotten a little taste of what's to come. UW rallied from 2 goals down in the third period in their exhibition game to win in overtime last week. And the fight they showed to get back is something that this team says they'll skate with night in and night out.
Experience is your best teacher, and them going through success and failures are learning experiences. And so, didn't like being down by 2 in the third period, so we learned from that. But I thought we reacted well to it.
The way we fought and came back in that third period is going to speak to how we are as a team this year, and just the fight that we're going to bring.
About to come out of their let's kick it. Wisconsin women's soccer on the road, taking on 9th-ranked Iowa. Under 15 minutes left, tied at 1. And Maya Richards sends a snipe into the back of the net for what would be the game winner. Badgers hand the Hawks their first loss of the year. 2-1, the final.
A fast lead.
We're back after this.
Great goal from Richards there.
The biggest mattress blowout of the year is happening now at Ashley. Save up to 40% off on Nectar mattresses starting at only $349. Save up to $600 on Beautyrest Black and free delivery. This is the big one. 60-month special financing with low monthly payments at Ashley.
When it's time for better storage, Dakota Closets is the solution. Menards carries a great selection of closets that are perfect for any space. For home offices, laundry rooms, standard closets, and even storage for your kids' playrooms. There are so many ways to store your items. And with Dakota Closets, you can do it with style and ease. Right now, get this Dakota Closet system for $839.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Kamala Harris is going to significantly raise taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
Kamala's plan will raise families' taxes by nearly $2,600 a year. Under Kamala, prices have already soared. Now she'd make it worse with even higher taxes.
Taxes are going to have to go up?
President Trump will cut taxes again. No taxes on tips, overtime, or Social Security.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
You've got this.
You didn't think your sister would take you up on the dog sitting offer, but here you are. Barriers? Purchased. Doggy distractions? No expense spared. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So when you have to make a purchase, or 7, to prepare, you can be sure we're looking out for you. So you can look out for him. You've got this with Associated Bank.
A lot of law firms claim to be experts at handling injury cases that involve large trucks. But handling one trucking case does not make you an expert on the subject. Experience matters in these cases. One local firm has handled 25 trucking cases which resulted in payments over $1 million each, and hundreds of others as well. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Prices are up, wages are down, inflation is crushing Wisconsin families. Yet Sarah Kieski, she supports lifting revenue limits, allowing property tax rates to skyrocket unchecked. Even more radical, Kieski's backers want to ban natural gas to heat our homes, driving utility bills through the roof. Tax hikes and higher prices for families and those living on fixed incomes. That's Kieski's record. Expensive and extreme. Reject Sarah Kieski and her radical agenda.
It's the biggest appliance blowout of the year at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Clearance and overstock appliance items are at huge discounts. We will meet or beat the big box store prices. This is the big one. 60-month special financing at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Closed captioning sponsored by Community Shares of Wisconsin's Workplace Giving Campaign.
Up till now, J.D. Vance's biggest obstacle in appealing to voters has been that he is J.D. Vance.
The Late Show, weeknights on CBS.
Well, move over DoorDash and Uber Eats. There's a new food delivery service at the University of Minnesota. This one does not need a driver. Robots are delivering food across the sprawling Twin Cities campus, 11 of them carrying various food and drink options for $2.49 plus a 10% delivery fee. The robots use machine learning and AI to cross streets, make it up curbs, and avoid obstacles. Beautiful night out there. We're getting a lot of pictures from viewers of the Northern Lights, and it's a nice night.
Yeah, we're going to see clear skies. Clouds will increase tomorrow, but the clear skies tonight should make a pretty good viewing. The big story going forward will be the temperature swing 80s tomorrow, then 50s next week.
Big change coming. Thanks for joining us, folks, for News 3 Now at 10. Have a great night.